Hello everyone, in this lecture we will discuss set theory. So first we define a set. Let us start with an example. If I ask you to write first 5 positive integers, then you can write 1, 2, 3, 4 and 5. But if I ask you to write names of intelligent student in your class, then it will be little tough for you because there is no particular definition of intelligent students. So we define a set as a well-defined collection of elements, means well-defined. Look at this here, the elements are well-defined, but in case of intelligent student, this is not well-defined. So remember, whenever we define a set, we say it is a well-defined collection of elements. Now look at this example. Suppose again take this example 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So this is a set and denoted by capital A. Now look at this. The order of elements in a set is meaningless. You can write it 3, 2, 1, 5, 4. So you can say in another word, this is an unordered collection of well-defined elements. So order is meaningless. Sometimes one element is repeated. It is also same as the original set. So now we have two ways to define a set. The first one is, this is roster notation. Roster notation. In roster notation, we write all the elements of the set. For example, here A, all the elements are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So this is the roster notation. For infinite set, if a set has infinite elements, for example, set of positive integers, say z plus, then you can write it 1, 2, 3, and we use 3 dots. 3 dots are ellipses, and these dots, 3 dots, these 3 dots denote the continuity of these numbers or sequence. So in this way you can represent infinite numbers using these 3 dots or ellipses. So this is the roster notation where we list all the elements. Either we write all the elements or we write in this form. So this is roster notation. Second way is set builder notation. Set builder notation. In set builder notation, we use a variable to represent the elements of a set, and we define its property or the common properties of elements, or simply say definition of X. For example, look at this A. We can define it A. X is the variable for these elements. Here we use colon and read it such that X, such that here we will define the definition of X. X belongs to Z plus X is a positive integer, and X is greater than equal to 1 and less than equal to 5. So this is the definition of, X. X is a variable for these elements, and the definition of this X is X belongs to Z plus, and X is greater than equal to 1, less than equal to 5. So this is the set builder notation. So two ways are there to define a set. First one is roster, second one is set builder notation. Some common sets are set of natural numbers is denoted by n, set of integers denoted by z, set of real numbers denoted by r, set of positive integers is denoted by z plus, and so on. Now we define cardinality of a set. Cardinality of a set is the number of elements, the number of elements in a set. For example, suppose A equal to 1, 2, 3, 4. So cardinality of this set is 4. It is denoted by, you can write it number of elements in a set, or you can write modulus A. So this equal to 4 because the number of elements in the set are 4. So this is the cardinality of a set. If there are finite number of elements, then the set is said to be finite set. Finite set. For example, look at this. A is a finite set. 1, 2, 3, 4. A is a finite set. If there are infinite number of elements, then you will say it is infinite set. Infinite set. For example, Z. Z is an Z contains infinite number of elements, therefore it is infinite set. So this is the cardinality of a set. Now equality of two sets. Suppose we have two sets A and B. We say two sets A and B are equal, or A equal to B. If and only if, I am using if and only if number of elements in A are the number of elements in B and all the elements are same. So you can say number of elements in A equal to number of elements in B, and all the elements of A are same. Both the sets have same elements. Same elements. So in this way you will say two sets are equal. Now we define universal set, empty set and singleton set. Universal set is a set which contains all the objects of the universe, and we denote it by U. We assume that all the objects of the universe are contained in U. So this is the universal set U. Now empty set, a set which has no element, is known as empty set, and we denote it by phi, or you can denote it by curly braces set without any element. So this is empty set. If you write phi in this way, this is not an empty set because there is one element and this is phi. Example of an empty set, you can write it. A set, suppose A, this equal to x, such that x belongs to z plus and x square equal to minus 1. Look at this. This is an empty set because x belongs to z plus, x is a positive integer and x square is minus 1. You know, x square, for any positive integer, x square equal to minus 1. This is not possible. That's why this set A will contain zero element. It means no element. So that's why A is an empty set. Singleton set, a set which has only one element. Say for example, suppose B, this contain 1. So this set is a singleton set because it contains only one element. So this is singleton set. Now subsets. Suppose we have two sets A and B. A is a subset of B denoted by this one contained in B. A is a subset of B if and only if for all x belongs to A tautologically implies x belongs to B. It means for all x, whenever x is an element of A, then x must be an element of B. It means all the elements of A are the elements of B. Then we say A is a subset of B. For example, suppose A equal to 1, 2 and B equal to 1, 2, 3, 4. Look at this. All the elements of A are the elements of B. So you can say A is a subset of B. Whenever we use this sign, this is contained in an equal sign is also there. So two possibilities are there. A may be equal to B or A is contained in B. So you can say in this case, when you say A is a subset of B, then number of elements in A is less than equal to number of elements in B. This may be less than or this may be equal to B. Now another type of subset is proper subset. Proper subset. Proper subset and denoted by A contained in B. So whenever all the elements of X are the elements of B, and you can say number of element in A is less than number of elements in B. This condition will be there, but number of elements in A is less than the number of elements in B. Then we say A is a proper subset of B. Here, look at this. A is a proper subset of B. So this is the difference between proper subset and a subset. If it is a proper subset, then obviously it will be a subset. So whenever we say subset, it means there is a chance that number of elements in A may be equal to number of elements in B. Now, two proper subsets, they are very common. Number one is phi. We say that phi is a subset of each set. You can say phi is a subset of A as well as phi is a subset of B. So phi is a subset of every set, and second one, a set is a subset of itself. So you can say A is a subset of A, B is a subset of B. So every set is a subset of itself. In this way, we can define a subset and proper subset. Now power set. Suppose we have a set A. Now power set of A is the set of all the subsets of A. So for example, suppose A equal to 1, 2, 3. Now power set of A, this will include all the subsets of A. So first we will start with phi, then we will start singleton set 2 and 3. Now we will write 1, 2, 3. Now we will write 1, 2, 1, 3 and 2, 3, and finally the set A itself 1, 2, 3. Now look at this number of elements. If you count 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So 8 elements are there in power set of A when A has 3 elements. In general, if A has n elements, then power set will contain 2 raised to power n elements. So power set of a set is defined as the set of all subsets of A. Now Cartesian product of two sets. Suppose we have two sets A and B, then Cartesian product is denoted by A cross B. So this is the set of ordered pairs. This is the set of ordered pairs such that X belongs to A and Y belongs to B. It means ordered pair, certain order is there, and the order is the first element is from A and second element is from B. So this is the set of these type of ordered pairs. For example, suppose A equal to 1, 2 and suppose B equal to A, B. Then A cross B. This will have the elements 1, A, 1, B, 2, A and 2, B. So this is A cross B, the Cartesian product of two sets A and B. Now set operations. First we define union, then we will define intersection. Suppose we have two sets A and B. The union of A and B denoted by A union B. This is the set. Suppose X is the element such that X belongs to A or X belongs to B. Look at this. When we define OR, this is inclusive or either X belongs to A or X belongs to B or both. So three conditions are there in this. So in all these cases, X will be the element of A union B. Now we can also represent this using diagrams. These diagrams are known as Venn diagrams. Now universal set is denoted by a rectangle, and a set, this is universal set, and a set is denoted by a circle. So to denote the union of two sets, we can write in this way. This is the universal set, and suppose this set is A, and suppose this set is B. Now look at the definition. X belongs to A or X belongs to B. It means all the elements. A union B will include all the elements of A and B. So this is A union B. Now intersection A intersection B, we can write it X such that X belongs to A and X belongs to B. So here we can make the Venn diagram of A intersection B. This is universal set. Suppose this is A, suppose this is B, this is A and B. So look at this, A and B, and means for this A and B, or A and this X belongs to A and X belongs to B, this to be true, X must belongs to A as well as B. So only these elements, common elements, will be there in A intersection B. So this is the Venn diagram of intersection of two sets A and B. Now difference of two sets. Suppose A and B are two sets. Difference of A and B is A minus B. This is the set X such that X belongs to A and X does not belong to B. It means we have to remove all the elements of B from A. Now how can we make the Venn diagram of A minus B? This is universal set, and suppose this is A and suppose this is B, A and B. So there, look at this part. These are the elements of B which are in A. So we have to remove the elements of B from A. It means we will have the remaining part. This remaining part is A minus B. So this is A minus B. This set is A minus B. See the difference. Now complement of a set. Complement of a set A is denoted by A dash, or you can write it A bar. So this is U minus A. That is universal set minus A. So if you make the Venn diagram, so this is say U, and suppose this set is A, then complement of A is this U minus A, this set. This is the complement of A. Complement of a set is also defined when suppose A is a subset of B. So you can define complement of A with respect to B also. So with respect to B means A dash equal to B minus A. So we can define complement with respect to a superset. This is known because A is a subset of B, then you can say B is a superset of B. So we can define complement in this term also. We can define the complement of a set as A dash X such that X does not belong to A. So in simple term, we can define complement as X such that X does not belong to A. This is complement of a set. Now we have set identities. These are very common laws defined for sets. For example, commutative law. Commutative law. if A and B are two sets, then A union B, this equal to B union A, or you can say A intersection B equal to B intersection A. Similarly, you can define associative law. Associative law, there is A union B. Suppose another set is C, A union B union C, this equal to A union B union C. Similarly, A intersection B intersection C, this equal to A intersection B intersection C. This is associative law. Similarly, you can define distributive law. Distributive law, there is A union B intersection C. So you can write it A union B, A union B intersection A union C. Similarly, you can define A intersection B union C. You can define it A intersection B union A intersection C. So these are distributive law. Similarly, you can define De Morgan's law. De Morgan's law. A union B complement, this equal to A complement intersection B complement, or A intersection B complement, this equal to A complement union B complements. These are some set identities. Now we have to prove that A union B dash equal to A dash intersection B dash, that is De Morgan's law. So I will tell you the way how can we prove such type of identities. If you see this is not an equation. Left hand side is a set, right hand side is a set. It means we have to show that these two sets are equal. And how can we say the two sets are equal? It means we have to show that the number of elements in this set is equal to the number of elements in this set, and both of the sets have same element. So to show this is, how can we show? We can show that A union B dash, A union B dash, this is a subset of A dash intersection B dash. It means all the elements of A union B dash are the elements of A dash intersection B dash. And second time we will show A dash intersection B dash is a subset of A union B dash, means all the elements of A dash intersection B dash are the elements of A union B dash. So when you prove these two, all the elements of this are in this set and all the elements of this set are in this set. So this is possible if and only if both sets are equal. So with the help of these two, you can prove this identity. Now to prove these two, what we will do? To prove this one, say this is 1, this is 2. So prove this one, we have to show that A union B dash is a subset of A dash intersection B dash. It means we have to show that if X is an element of this set, then X is an element of this set. So we'll start with this. We can write, or now the simple way to prove this, we can write let X belongs to A union B dash. This tautologically implies X does not belong to A union B, because X belongs to A union B dash means X belongs to U minus A union B. That is, X does not belong to A union B. So this tautologically implies, look at this, X does not belong to A union B. X is not a member of this one. It means X does not belong to A and X does not belong to B. Remember, here we are using AND. It means neither X is an element of A nor X is an element of B, or nor an element of B. Because if suppose X is an element of A, then obviously it will be in A union B. So if we are saying X does not belong to A union B, it means neither it is an element of A nor it is an element of B. So we can write it X belongs to A dash and X belongs to B dash. Now look at this, X belongs to A dash and X belongs to B dash means X belongs to A dash intersection B dash. This is the right hand side. Now second time we have to assume that X is an element of A dash intersection B dash and X is an element of this one. So if you start with the last one and just go to the reverse, just go in the reverse direction. So start from this one, X belongs to A dash and B dash, you can write it. So better to write here and apply the by condition. So by means whenever this one is true, this is also true. So whenever this one is true, this step is also true. So this is, you can say, by implication. So here you can write, so you can prove both these 1 and 2 in one go. But for this you have to check whether this by implication is true or not. So both of these can be proved in a single way. Alternatively, you can write in this way also. You will start with A union B dash and define it as a set X such that X does not belong to A union B. And similarly, do the same procedure X such that X does not belong to A and X does not belong to B. And write it X belongs to A dash and X belongs to B dash. And finally write it X such that X belongs to A dash intersection B dash. Now this is equivalent to A dash intersection B dash. So there is another way. Here we have used the set builder notation to prove the equality of two sets. You can use either this method or this method to prove set identity.